Imagine a small room in Bondy, a disadvantaged suburb on the outskirts of Paris, burdened by stereotypes and prejudice. Covering all four walls were posters of Cristiano Ronaldo. And in the middle of that room, a 10-year-old boy slept with a football clutched tightly in his arms, dreaming of the day the entire world would know his name. 15 years later, that boy no longer needed those posters. He stepped out beneath the lights of the Santiago Bernabeu, wearing the famous white shirt of Real Madrid, as more than 80,000 fans roared around him. Kylian Mbappé. People talk endlessly about €100 million transfers, supreme influence inside the dressing room, or direct phone calls from the president of France. But behind that dazzling spotlight lies a story that has never been fully told. It is not the story of a gifted prodigy who got lucky, but of a journey shaped by his family's iron discipline, the protection of the concrete streets where he grew up, and a remarkable determination seemingly programmed to conquer the world. From his first runs across rough pitches in Bondy to becoming a global icon, this is the untold story of Kylian Mbappé. To understand the Kylian Mbappé of today, we must travel back to Bondy, a town in Seine-Saint-Denis, located in the northeastern suburbs of Paris. To the French media and much of the public at the time, it was a place defined by gray housing estates, high unemployment, and the stigma of being a troubled area filled with social problems. But for Mbappé, Bondy was home, and it was where his wildest dreams were born. At AS Bondy, the local football club, young Kylian took his first steps in the game at the age of 5. The pitches were not pristine stretches of grass, but rough concrete surfaces and worn-out fields. It was this unforgiving street football environment that taught Mbappé how to survive. Explosive pace, unpredictable dribbling, and a fearless mentality. Yet what truly protected and shaped the young genius growing up in such a challenging environment was not natural talent alone, but the iron discipline instilled by his family. His father, Wilfried Mbappé, was an experienced football coach at AS Bondy. He was Kylian's first teacher, always standing on the touchline, correcting every running technique and teaching tactical awareness before individual flair. Wilfried was exceptionally strict. While other children were praised after good performances, Kylian was more likely to receive detailed analysis of every mistake he had made. Alongside his father stood his mother, Faiza Lamari, a former professional handball player. If his father taught him how to play football, his mother taught him how to face the world. Carrying a strong Algerian heritage, she instilled confidence that bordered on pride while ensuring that he always remained grounded. People often recalled that young Kylian was a child who seemed incapable of sleeping. He could watch 4 or 5 football matches in a single day without losing interest, knew the names of players from leagues across the world, and always slept with a football as though it were his most precious possession. In Bondy, while many talented youngsters were distracted or led astray by their surroundings, Kylian Mbappé seemed like a machine programmed inside the safety of a family bunker, shielded from negative influences and focused entirely on one goal: becoming the very best. At the age of 12, Kylian Mbappe's talent outgrew the boundaries of Bondy and earned him a place at Clairefontaine, France's most prestigious football academy, which had previously developed legends such as Thierry Henry and Nicolas Anelka. There, Mbappé quickly became a sensation. Scouts from all over Europe traveled to Clairefontaine simply to watch a boy with the speed of a track athlete and the composure of a 30-year-old striker. During the winter of 2012, a life-changing moment arrived. In the week of his 14th birthday, Kylian received an extraordinary invitation. Real Madrid wanted him to visit Spain. Zinedine Zidane himself, one of France's greatest football icons, personally welcomed the teenager at the airport in a luxury car. Kylian even had the opportunity to meet Cristiano Ronaldo, take photographs with him, and train with Real Madrid's youth teams. For any 14-year-old in the world, it would have been a dream come true. The contract was practically waiting on the table. But this was where the Mbappé family's defining choice emerged. Rather than accepting the money, fame, and glamour of Madrid, Wilfried and Faiza made a decision that surprised everyone. They turned down Real Madrid and returned to France. They understood that throwing a 14-year-old into the intense, lonely, and pressure-filled environment of the Bernabeu too early could destroy a gifted talent. Kylian needed a platform better suited to his development, somewhere he could play every week instead of spending his time on the bench at a major club. The Mbappé family chose AS Monaco, a club renowned for developing young talent. It was a decision that went against popular opinion, a choice driven by logic and long-term vision. They were not in a hurry to reach glory because they believed glory would eventually find Kylian on its own. The decision to join AS Monaco quickly paid off, and far sooner than anyone could have imagined. In the glamorous Principality of Monaco, Kylian Mbappé wasted no time breaking records. He surpassed Thierry Henry to become the youngest player ever to debut for Monaco's first team, and later became the club's youngest goal scorer at the age of 17. But the true breakthrough came during the magical 2016-2017 season. The football world was stunned by a youthful, fearless, and electrifying Monaco side, with Mbappé at its heart. On the UEFA Champions League stage, the teenager with the youthful face tormented some of Europe's strongest defenses, from Manchester City to Borussia Dortmund. With his close-cropped haircut, radiant smile, and effortless running style, he swept past every obstacle like a storm. Monaco reached the Champions League semi-finals and ended Paris Saint-Germain's domestic dominance by winning the Ligue 1 title. After just one season, the entire football world had fallen in love with Mbappé. Then came the true explosion in the summer of 2017. Paris Saint-Germain was determined to bring the capital's most talented son back home. A transfer worth 180 million euros was completed, making the 18-year-old the most expensive teenage footballer in history. Returning to Paris, Mbappé was no longer the unknown boy from Bondy. He became the new symbol of an entire generation of French people, especially young people from the disadvantaged suburbs, those who saw Mbappé as proof that they too could change their destiny. But the pressure that came with a 180 million euro transfer fee and the spotlight of the Parc des Princes was immense. Mbappé was thrown into a complex dressing room filled with some of the biggest personalities in world football, from Neymar to later Lionel Messi. Many believed he would be overwhelmed, overshadowed by these legendary senior stars. But no. Mbappé did not come to Paris to be anyone's shadow. He learned how to survive under the relentless scrutiny of the French media, learned how to assert his own identity, and step by step, through a constant stream of goals, transformed himself into the true leader of Parc des Princes. If his performances at club level established his talent, it was his success in major international tournaments that elevated him into the temple of football legends, turning him into a global icon before the age of 25. During the summer of 2018 in Russia, the world witnessed the explosion known as Kylian Mbappé at the World Cup. Think back to the round of 16 match against Lionel Messi's Argentina. It was more than just a football match. It felt like a passing of the torch between generations. Mbappé's breathtaking run from midfield, reaching speeds of up to 38 kilometers per hour and leaving the entire Argentine defense behind, stunned the football world. On that day, the 19-year-old scored twice and helped eliminate Messi's Argentina. Then, in the final against Croatia, Mbappé found the net again, becoming the first teenager to score in a World Cup final since the era of football legend Pelé in 1958. France were crowned world champions, and Mbappé officially arrived on the global stage. But if 2018 was the tournament of a young star soaring on the wings of a brilliant team, then the 2022 World Cup in Qatar was where Mbappé proved he could carry an entire nation on his shoulders. The historic final at Lusail Stadium between France and Argentina became one of the most dramatic and extraordinary chapters in sporting history. With France trailing 2-0 and seemingly powerless for more than 80 minutes, it was Mbappé who rose from the ashes. In the space of just 97 seconds, he scored 2 astonishing goals to bring the match back to life. Then, when Messi restored Argentina's lead at 3-2 in extra time, Mbappé once again showed remarkable composure, converting a penalty to complete his hat trick. France ultimately lost in the penalty shootout. But the image of Mbappé walking past the World Cup trophy after receiving the Golden Boot, his face filled with quiet reflection, became an unforgettable symbol. It was a magnificent defeat. That night, The world understood that while the eras of Messi and Ronaldo might not have ended exactly as expected, the future throne of football almost certainly belonged to this man. Mbappe's influence extends far beyond the football pitch. He has become a genuine cultural and political force. Consider the summer of 2022, when his contract with PSG was approaching its end and Real Madrid seemed closer than ever. The situation became so significant that French President Emmanuel Macron personally contacted Mbappé and encouraged him to remain in Paris because of his national importance. A footballer at just 23 years of age had become influential enough to affect discussions at the highest levels of a major nation. Away from football, Mbappé has become the face of a new generation. He appeared on the cover of Time magazine under the headline, "The Leader of a New Generation." He signed exclusive commercial partnerships with Nike, Hublot, and EA Sports from a position of remarkable influence. Yet instead of becoming consumed by luxury and excess, Mbappé established the Inspired by KM Foundation to help hundreds of disadvantaged children from suburbs like Bondy gain access to education and sport. Mbappé understands his own value perfectly. He is not simply selling goals, he is presenting a story, a symbol of self-determination, influence, and meaningful social impact achieved by someone who rose from a challenging environment. Every great journey in football eventually leads to one destination: Santiago Bernabeu. For Mbappé, joining Real Madrid was not merely a transfer, it was an appointment with destiny, the continuation of a dream that began when he was 14 years old. Entering this new chapter of his career, Mbappé no longer arrived as a young talent seeking guidance. He came to Spain as a champion ready to challenge for football's highest honors. The pressure of wearing Real Madrid's iconic white shirt is enough to overwhelm even the biggest stars. At the Bernabeu, supporters demand more than goals. They demand excellence, UEFA Champions League trophies, and the prestigious Ballon d'Or. In Madrid, Mbappé faces an entirely new challenge: finding a way to integrate his strong personality into a squad already filled with champions. Rather than being the undisputed center of attention as he often was in Paris, he must share the spotlight, embrace collective football, and adapt to a more demanding tactical system. The pressure from the Spanish media, capable of elevating him to extraordinary heights one day and criticizing him harshly after a single poor performance the next, is relentless. Immersed in that pressure, the resilience of the boy who grew up on the streets of Bondy has spoken once again. Mbappé does not hide from challenges. He responds to doubt with professionalism, composure from the penalty spot, and explosive runs that tear through defenses across La Liga. Choosing Real Madrid was Mbappé's clearest declaration to the world. He was willing to leave the comfort of home and embrace football's most demanding stage in pursuit of his ultimate ambition: becoming the defining player of his generation. Looking back on the entire journey, Kylian Mbappé's rise from the gray concrete streets of Bondy to the legendary grass of Santiago Bernabeu is not a fairy tale built on luck. It is a remarkable project planned with the clear vision of a sporting family and realized through the determination of an exceptional talent. Mbappé did not arrive to become the next Messi or Ronaldo. He arrived to redefine what a football superstar can be in the modern era. An independent athlete who controls his own destiny and exerts influence that extends far beyond sport. The 10-year-old boy who once slept with a football in his arms is now a global icon, and yet behind every explosive run, the desire to prove himself that was born in the suburbs of Paris still burns as strongly as ever. Mbappé continues to run, racing against limits and striving to carve his name into the most prestigious pages of football history. Kylian Mbappé's journey is certain to produce even more extraordinary milestones in the years ahead. Which moment in his career has impressed you the most? Do you think he will win the Ballon d'Or while wearing the colors of Real Madrid? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and make sure to activate notifications so you never miss another fascinating sporting story. Thank you for watching, goodbye, and see you next time.